Hola.
I get lost in the stars when I'm with you every day. I get lost in the atmosphere of love.
Hi, I'm Munroe Bergdorf, and I'm known for being an activist, but also having conversations about gender, race, sexuality, and how we can empower each other and ourselves. And Black History Month for me is an opportunity to discuss where we're at as a society, to not only look back, but to look forward and in the present, and to understand each other, to educate each other, and to empathise with how we all live and see the world.
My name's Imarn Ayton, and I'm known for being an activist and an organiser of the Black Lives Matter protests last year summer. So Black History Month means Black pride for me. It means a sense of understanding ourselves. It also means empathy for people that look like me. And I think it also means a month of growth. I like to think about Black History Month as a month of growth for everyone, anyone that's black, white, pink, purple, to learn about the experiences of Black people. I'm so happy to meet you.
I'm so happy to meet you
As in,
well.
it's been long overdue.
Oh,
been hearing your name for a while now.
Oh, thank you.
And then obviously last year, I know that you was at the protest, so this is just a really important moment for me to meet you.
And for me to meet you as well, because seeing what you're doing and having conversations, as we were talking about earlier, in spaces that need educating is something that's so important, and that's something that not a lot of people are willing to do. So yeah, thank you so much for all of your work as well.
Pleasure, like-minded. Right, so questions.
Yes.
Do you want to go first?
I will go first.
All right, no problem.
Amazing. Okay, so growing up, did you always feel you would make the impact that you have been making as an activist?
Not even in the slightest. No, not at all. I wanted to be an actor. That was the only thing, the only thing that I wanted to do. And the only reason why I wanted to act is because I wanted to inspire. And that was something that I knew instinctively I was supposed to do. And I think my first ever kind of realization was watching films, really. I watched like Forrest Gump and The Green Mile. Those are like two of my favorite films. So when I go back to the heart of why I wanted to be an actor, which was to inspire, does it surprise me that I'm here? No. But did I have it in the plan? Not even in the slightest.
I think with activism as well, there's a certain sense of, you know, putting it forward, like putting, you know, kind of the personality forward that you want to project, because you need to get the point across, and you need to make people feel things. Did you find yourself tapping into that energy still?
Oh, yes, definitely. I don't think I would have been able to do any type of speech. How do you go from never speaking in front?
Speaking is acting, because
I
mean, if you really think about it, it's such a difficult thing to do. You know, you need to emote, you need to, you know, paint the picture, and that is storytelling.
Right, your turn, your turn. So, how do you feel you've impacted people from a similar background to yourself?
I think the best way to come at activism and to come at presenting people with information is to understand that we are all individuals. And even if we have a shared background or shared intersections, we have very different experiences of this world. So I try to get people thinking about their uniqueness, rather than, you know, the fact that, you know, even if we're from the same communities, you may still feel alienated from your community. You still may feel like the people that you were raised with don't understand you. So I think in understanding that we're all individuals, it's easier to come together, because, you know, I mean, it sounds very kumbaya, but we are all human beings. And yeah, we may be black, we may be trans, we may be gay, we may be straight, but we're all individuals.
Have you always felt that way?
No, and I think that I had a lot of discomfort with myself and with society, because I felt like I had to fit the box. I felt like I should be more like other people like me. And the reality is that no one's like you.
Right.
No one's ever going to feel, see, hear, taste experience the world how you do.
Yeah.
I come in as me, and you're going to get me because you're not going to get anything else like me. We need to make younger people understand that they're good enough as they are.
Exactly.
And, you know,
exactly.
I mean, we don't see, you know, other races with only being in the room if they're excellent. The reality is that, you know, black people are held to such a high standard that the excellence narrative can feel heavy. Just celebrate yourself as you are. Everything else is a bonus.
Oh, I love that. Love that. It's beautiful.
Okay,
It's
my
perfection.
turn.
It's beautiful.
Given the events of 2020, how do you think this changed the course of your life?
Last year during COVID lockdown, the first one, that was the moment where I decided to really tap into spirituality. I'd hit rock bottom, I felt like. It'd been 10 years of depression, not quite getting where I wanted to be in life. Many things I haven't achieved, coming up to 30. So you have that moment where you have that introspection and you have to be honest with yourself, right? The biggest thing I was missing was my soul's purpose. And there is one thing which is acting, but again, that is conditioning.
Yeah.
Society has told me that that is an option for me. But the reality is, does it feed my soul? The thing that feeds my soul is helping people. And without that, I feel empty. And that's where I found the depression would kick in over the years. The events of last year allowed me to ask the questions that I needed to ask the universe, which is, why am I here? What am I doing with my life? And what is my purpose? And I got those answers 3 weeks later when I went out to get toothpaste and joined the Black Lives Matter march. So.
Amazing. It feels like talking to myself with how I felt and my relationship with activism.
Yeah.
And why I got into this and why I continue. It really is about the soul and, you know, purpose.
Okay, so next question. If you were to change one thing about your journey so far, what would it be and why?
I think about this a lot, and
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I mean, some things that have happened have been really, really difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's all kind of put me onto the trajectory that I'm on, and I'm really happy with where I'm at in this world. Of course, there's things that I want to, you know, revisit, and things that I want to just make sure that I'm fine-tuning them to be how I want them to grow forward and to get to the next point in my life.
So what?
But
I'm so curious. You've got to give me one, at least one thing.
Are we talking professional or personal?
Both, or either one.
Merging the personal and the professional in a more healthy way.
Okay.
I think with activism, the personal and the professional, when you do this as a job, it overlaps.
Yeah.
But even if it overlaps, doesn't mean that you're doing it in the right ratio.
Yeah.
In recent years, my life has just become irrecognizable from what it was. So, I don't know, I find myself working myself into the ground a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to myself as much as I should. And I focus a lot more on, you know, what I think I should be doing rather than what I actually should be doing.
So it's the drive as opposed to where I am here and now.
The drive
type
takes
of thing.
over.
Right, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
The drive takes over, and I'm not, you know, self-caring as a continuum.
Yeah.
I have to self-care when I, you know, burn out. Because I haven't always, you know, had such a good relationship with myself. I've struggled with eating disorders and self-harm, depression, anxiety, and it's difficult to, you know, not just love yourself, but act with love to yourself. So I think that would be, you know, my regrets.
When did that moment in your life occur where you realised that I now need to start to give that love to other people, even if I'm not fully there?
Honestly, it's very recently.
Yeah.
It's very recently that I just took stock of my life, and I was like, everything's great.
Yeah.
You know, professionally, I'm comfortable. I've got great friendships. I've got a great family. But I think I need to like be a person, not just a cause.
Yes.
And it's very difficult when you're from such a marginalised community. People really rest their, you know, hopes and their hope on you.
Yeah. Wicked. Thank you.
Yes. That was a moment. That was a moment.
Are you
That whole
kidding?
issue was a moment. Yeah, I was really proud to be part of that.
How did it feel? Let's just look at your awesome picture, if I can. Let's see if I can find it. It's towards the
It was a bit mad. I mean, I can't really believe that I got asked to be part of it. I mean, I find Edward Enninful, the editor-in-chief of Vogue, such a amazing human being to be able to share this moment in time with. And to think, you know, a black man is the most powerful man in the British fashion industry, most powerful person in the fashion industry.
Insane.
Is amazing, and like I can't even imagine how that feels to the younger generations. Because when I started in fashion, I really felt like I didn't belong there because I couldn't see people
Like
in
you.
high places.
Yeah, it's so weird because when I found out that I had the opportunity to be able to speak to you today, I was elated, obviously because my gorgeous picture from Miss Anne is right next to yours. I will never forget your beautiful face right next to me. Yes. So
Oh wow, I didn't recognize you with the blonde hair.
right next to you, girl.
Wow.
Right next to you. I was
How
just
did I not
elated.
clock that? You look so different.
Different. Everyone says this. I had the blonde wig, which is quite ironic for a BLM movement, but my instincts told me to put on
I
a
got the
blonde wig
blonde
that
wig
day.
too.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a wig.
it was a blonde wig that day. Let's just own it. So yeah, definitely a different look now.
How did it
but
feel for you to be involved in that as well?
For me, it
I'm
was.
so sorry. Can I just say I'm so happy that we shared that moment, literally on the same
we're on the
spread
same-
as well. That's so
exactly.
gorgeous.
I said this. I was like, "Are you kidding? I'm going to be speaking to Munroe."
Oh wow!
Imagine, beautiful synchronicity.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
For me, it was very surreal. It was like, what the hell is this? What? Really? Imarn? Really? What's happening? I went out to get toothpaste. What's happening here? It was a real, like, is this real moment? So yeah, with me, like I said, in terms of finding myself, I went on this spiritual journey, watched the murder of George Floyd, and then literally went out the following day because I was depressed, had been drinking red wine, the teeth started to get yellow, and I decided to go and get whitening toothpaste. That is how my life changed.
Wow.
And then next minute, 3 weeks later, I get a message from Giles Hattersley, the features director, saying, would you like to be in Vogue? Edward Enninful is doing a special project and he would like you to be a part of it. So it was
Amazing.
very surreal.
2020 was wild, absolutely wild. But I'm so thankful for how our community spoke up
Yes.
during such a time that was stressful for everybody. To feel like you had to have those conversations. It's great that we were having those conversations, but I think that there was a weight on all of us, an expectation, like there's an elephant in the room, wasn't it? With every room. Well, not that we were going anyway, there was lockdown, but it was, it was almost like, wherever you go, there was no getting away from it.
I agree.
And it was, the cat was out of the bag, and it was a good thing, but it was also very, very difficult to deal with.
At least the momentum is still here, I think. The momentum in terms of that awkwardness, the elephant in the room, we're no longer tolerating that. That elephant doesn't exist anymore.
It's hard to
We're going
put
to
the
deal
cat
with
back
that.
in the bag.
Thank you. It's out now. Let's just get over it and move forward.
Okay, so you've achieved a lot, and I'm so obsessed with what you're doing. I think it's so important.
Vice versa.
Thank you. But what are some of your main goals? What's next?
So I started the Black Reformist movement, and that's ultimately due to the fact that I felt there was very little knowledge when it came to all forms of racism. So ultimately it's about bringing that awareness to everyone. So I tend to work with schools and colleges. I've also delved into working with organisations. And my main focus is institutionalised racism and trying to find ways to combat that and also just educate people. We tend to think of racism as just this kind of homogenous box when in actual fact there are 3 distinct forms, and I think it's really important for us to, as a society, begin to understand what they actually look like. Overt, covert, which are those micro behaviours that we see on a day-to-day basis, and then institutionalised racism. So working with organisations is key, and definitely trying to the main thing is getting them to implement strategies, policies and procedures that help to counter racial prejudice within an organisation or workplace.
Absolutely. We need to see that tangible change.
That's it. That's the issue.
lip service.
Right, exactly. Not just the posturing, let's just get a few black people into our organisation. No, we need to actually fix strategies and try to implement policies that help to counter racial prejudice. And that's something that a lot of organisations are yet to do. They're still very much bordering on, let's just hire a few more black people.
Yeah, at the lower levels.
Exactly, at the lower levels. And they don't even begin to even ask the question as to why there were no black people in the beginning. And that's probably the first question.
Why it's not black people doing the hiring in the first place.
Thank you. That's the questions that are yet to be asked. So I'm hoping that we'll get to that stage.
No one woman has the same experience as another woman. We're all so different, which is why, you know, womanhood is not something that should be gate-kept, or, you know, blackness isn't something that should be gate-kept, because it's so different. We're so different as a community. So when we talk about each other as monolith, we miss the intricacies of our experiences, and we overlook people, which means that along the line, someone's going to be marginalised. So we need to look at the individual.
Exactly. Human. That's it. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to hold on to my pack.
Me too.
Right, just hold on to it. Hug. Yay, I finally got to meet you.
It's so good to meet you.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
And you're serving.
You're one to talk, really? Really? We see you in your outfit today, Munroe. All right.
Thank you.